called G-Flux, but I call it the Johnson diet because if you ain't got a big Johnson, you ain't gonna be able to make this work. Now, the concept of G-Flux is eating a lot more calories than you actually need, but doing enough work that you're burning those extra calories off. So let's say we have two guys, okay? And they're exactly the same and they need 2,000 calories, okay? To get up in the morning, go to work, sit in the cubicle all day, come home, watch Netflix, and go to bed. Now, one of them takes 2,000 calories a day and lives exactly like that. The other guy takes in 3,000 calories of good whole food every day. And instead of sitting on the sofa, he actually burns those calories off. So they're both taking the same amount of calories. They're taking maintenance calories. One guy is taking 2,000 calories and burning 2,000 calories. The other guy is taking 3,000 calories and burning 3,000 calories. Now, if you ask some internet troll or even a trained, certified, qualified nutritionist, they will say that neither one of them will gain or lose weight. And that's true. Okay, law of thermodynamics, you're taking an equal amount of calories as you're expending. But if this guy is burning extra calories by doing strength training and by doing cardio training, especially if it's like a hard type of high intensity cardio training, and he's doing some sort of a sport, some kind of an athletic training, and that's how he's burning off those calories, yes, he's going to stay the same weight. He's not going to gain or lose weight. But if you think that within 3 months, 6 months, a year, these two guys are going to be the same people they were when they started, you're going to be right about the guy who takes 2,000 calories and sits on the sofa watching Netflix. But the other guy who is burning an extra 1,000 calories a day through physical activities be completely different. Now, obviously, if you sit on your ass, you don't do any cardio, you're not going to have any of the performance or health benefits of cardio. Obviously, if you sit in your ass and you don't do any strength training, you're not going to have any of the strength benefits of strength training. But let's talk about the muscle mass. Just because this guy who's taking an extra 1,000 calories and burning them off isn't gaining or losing weight doesn't mean he's not gaining muscle and doesn't mean he's not losing fat. There's no way that somebody is going to be burning 1,000 calories for a year straight by doing physical activity specifically intended to make a change in his body without making a change in his body. So let's say they're both 20% body fat, and a year later, one guy is still at 20% body fat, or maybe even a higher body fat. Maybe he stayed at the same weight but lost muscle and gained fat, the guy who did nothing, and the guy who actually burnt an extra 1,000 calories a day through high intensity physical activity, maybe he's at 10% body fat. Same weight, lost some muscle, gained some fat, lost a lot of fat, gained a lot of muscle, okay? Let's talk about this beyond that, okay? Because when I talk about training, I specifically talk about training to be a better man, the man that your family deserves. A man is a protector. A man has to be dangerous, okay? Because only a dangerous good man can protect his family from dangerous bad men. You think sitting on your ass on the sofa, counting your calories so you don't gain weight, is going to make you a dangerous person capable of protecting your family? No, it's not. But if you do high intensity cardio, if you do some sort of strength training, if you do some sort of athletic training, let's say combat sports, and that's why you're taking an extra 1,000 calories, you have incredible endurance, explosiveness, strength, more muscle mass compared to your fat mass, and you're training in the skills of combat. Okay, let's talk about how a man is supposed to be sexual, because if you love your wife, you want her to be proud of you, to be proud to be seen with you. You want her to want to touch you. You want her to want to be touched by you. You want her to be physically attracted to you. You want to be her sexual fantasy. Do you think sitting on your ass, counting your calories and watching TV is going to accomplish any of that? Do you think getting up early in the morning, killing some cardio, coming back drenched with sweat like a fucking animal who just hunted and killed a fucking weaker creature, come back with like fucking blood coming from your fangs because you massacred your fucking workout? Do you think that's gonna turn your wife on a little bit more than sleeping as late as possible and then having like a kapi lachi mati for 500 calories from fucking Starbucks on your way to sit in the cubicle and then eating potato chips and counting your calories and watching Netflix all night? Is that gonna turn your wife on? You have to be a good example for your children. No matter what you tell your kids to do, no matter what you beat your kids for doing, they're going to do what they see you doing. That's why broke parents have broke kids. That's why dropouts have dropout kids. That's why fat parents have fat kids. So do you think that teaching your kids the best way to live is to do as little as possible, do a shitty job you don't like, come home and watch Netflix until it's time to go to bed, but eating potato chips is going to improve their lives? Or get up in the morning, get a good workout in, eat clean food, go in the afternoon, do some kind of training, maybe bring the kids out back to the focus mitts and teach them how to fight, how to defend themselves for when they become parents, when they become fathers? Do you think that might be a little bit of a better example than someone who just goes to work as late as possible, comes home and drinks fucking soda and eats potato chips and cupcakes and watches Netflix? At the end of the day, there is a huge difference between counting your calories, not doing cardio, and maybe doing 1 or 2 sessions of strength training a week like some Kino Baby routine. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to be a real fucking man, dangerous, capable of protecting your family, attractive to your wife, and a good inspiration for your children, a good fucking role model, there's nothing better than eating lots of clean food and working out hard and burning it off and forging yourself into a fucking machine. If you're interested in applying the concept of G-Flux to your life, click on the link below and it will take you to a video that explains exactly how I train people to go from dad bods to shredded elite physiques in 6 months or less. Not just by losing fat, but by also building strength and building muscular size at the same time.